Alright, if you're seeing this first, make sure you go watch part one. This is part two of what went wrong with the Lakers. Taking an in-depth look. Whose fault was it? The front office? The coaches? The players? LeBron? How do we divvy up blame? Some of these things undoubtedly fall on the coaches. Alright, things like this. Jonas Valanciunas, literally the first thing on the scouting report is don't go for his high shot fake. He does this all the time. There is zero reason to jump for this. First of all, and we talked about this in the last video, why are the Lakers routinely jumping on their closeouts? Be the second jumper. He jumps, you jump. He doesn't jump, stay on the ground. Tyson Chandler's a vet too. That's surprising to me. But come on, if you're emphasizing the scouting report enough, I'll show you in a second. That's literally on the scouting report for Jonas Valanciunas. Alright? You may remember this clip because it was one of those ones LeBron was mocked for publicly. Is he perfect here? No. But you know what? Most teams are not going to give that much help one pass away to a shooter, especially a shooter who's playing really, really well for Memphis and Avery Bradley. Could LeBron be in a better stance, butt to the baseline, and make a little more of an effort to stop the ball? Sure. But you know what? He also seems to recognize that Kuzma's down there and is able to really get there and probably take what should have been a charge. Okay, he could have helped a tiny bit more, fine. But then he gets down there. Chandler gets beat for the rebound. LeBron goes and bodies Valanciunas, makes his shot tough. Chandler gets beat again. Like I told you, this is an actual game plan. High shot fake. Stay down. Come on. You got to get that stuff through to the players. It's not that hard when you do it right. That's how it's supposed to look. That's not a big-time three-point shooter. We'll live with that. Good box out by LeBron. And then a lot of what I judge coaching on, your ability to make adjustments. Okay? This play is called wedge roll. It's basically just a back pick right here for the big man to come set a side pick and roll. The way I was taught, the way we defended it a lot with the Wizards, we went under this back pick, under the rip screen, so that we could go down and be in an ice position, meaning the big takes away the baseline drive, and the guard jumps into the ball handler and sends it baseline. If you ice it, what's going to be open is, okay, Valanciunas popping for a second, who cares? He's not even a shooter. So ice it, don't let the ball get middle, take away Conley and all the options he has coming off this by the ball getting middle. All right? You know what? If this happened once or twice and the ball gets middle, fine, you make adjustments. But what scares me is when teams don't adjust, when they don't adapt and change things that clearly aren't working. This was another LeBron clip. I'm going to point out, though, and you'll see why in these next clips. Okay, the Lakers' defense, different from most in the league. They appear to be, again, not really wanting to ice. They want to let this screen get to the middle. And I think it's fair to question why they want to do that. Okay, what they have is the guy who sets the wedge screen, Avery Bradley's man right here, Bullock. He's supposed to stay at the nail for a second. And then what the Lakers really need, though, is a low man. The low man is usually, they got to talk it out. Somebody's got to figure out who's going to come over and take the role. Right now it'd be Kuzma. He seems to be the lowest. But then since he comes up to take the nail, it should be Bullock. He should recognize right here he's the low man. LeBron, he seems to be recognizing the play. All right? Right away he's telling Kuzma, get there, be the low man. All right? Kuzma looks like he's pointing and telling LeBron to stay out, which he does. So LeBron's splitting the difference. He sees these two shooters out here, Bradley and Holiday. Okay? Kuzma decides to go up to the nail. Fine. That means Bullock has, again, got to be the low man, got to come over, get outside the charge circle, and take this away. He's late to see it. That's not LeBron's fault. Reggie Bullock has to be there outside the paint to take that away or it's a layup. Again, that was one of the clips that LeBron's mocked nationally for. Really not on him. This is just messy. I don't know what they're, again, like, if you're going to ice it, then you jump underneath the screen and you get down and yell, ice, 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 and you get down there and ice it. I don't know why JaVale is, like, running directly into the screen. Why Kuzma is bumping Valanciunas. So then they run into each other. I mean, this is just, it's technique, it's details, it's the little things. But this is just not how you defend this play. And then once again, we talked about, okay, LeBron's a low man here. So Kuzma maybe can stay at the nail for a second. It's about the free throw line. So that means if Kuzma and LeBron, Kuzma's going to take the top, LeBron's going to take the bottom. Ingram has to split the difference between Bradley and the guy coming out to the corner. He's got to take this pass away. Instead, he overcommits to the top. That's something you learn from playing and experience. And when LeBron's talking about young guys sometimes not being fully invested or bought in, you got to study and know how to execute the game plan, whatever it is. And if it wasn't communicated clearly enough, then that's on the coaches to some extent. Like I talked about, the Lakers just get crushed on the offensive glass. McGee just gets pushed around like a rag doll down there by anybody with any size. All right, same play here. Now we did a little better job. Chandler at least knows what he's doing. He seems pretty convicted. He's going to go out and show. Fine. LeBron's a low man. He rotates over, stops the ball. These guys have it zoned up. Ingram gets his hand on the ball. Turnover. But then we get to the second half again, and what is JaVale doing again? He looks like he's going down to an ice. That's the only reason I think you'd be down here where he is. But obviously he's not communicating it well enough to Bullock or calling out the coverage early because Bullock lets the screen get middle. Okay. Like I talked about, the guy who sets the wedge screen, Ingram here. Ingram does a good job staying at the nail for a second. Fine. But then Kuzma, like I talked about, he's got to recognize now LeBron's underneath, he's got the big, so Kuzma's got to take the first pass between these two guys, whichever one it is. Play right in the middle, take the first pass. He totally commits to Holiday, completely, which gives Avery Bradley a wide open corner three. This doesn't make sense. How many times are you going to let the same play beat you in the game? They're just getting torched. This is a simple action. The Spurs have been running this for 30 years. Gave up another open corner three. Let it get middle again. Now we're kind of playing a 2 for 2. At least we're not showing. All right. Ingram is communicating, and he's going to take the nail. LeBron is the low man. Okay, he's got to be ready to come over and take the roll away, or Valanciunas could have a layup behind him. But once again, Kyle Kuzma, have some recognition. If Ingram's staying here at the nail to stop the ball, which is fine, and he does a good job of, Kuzma, there's two guys here. You can play both. You can play in the middle, and when Conley makes the pass to the corner, instead of always overcommitting to this top guy, you can wait right here in the middle and then go get the pass in the corner instead of having your back to the ball, and Avery Bradley gets another open three. I'm getting stressed out just watching this. All right, here we execute an NBA coverage. About time. All right, again, they keep letting it get middle. Fine, I guess that's their coverage. This time Ingram communicates. He's clearly at the nail. He stops the ball. He's pointing to Kuzma. Kuzma tells him, you know what, this is a way we can play it too. I'll This time I'm just going to stay and take the corner guy. And you, Ingram, you're going to start in at the elbow and then get out and contest this slot 3. Sometimes you got to pick something to live with. That's probably a contested slot 3 is a shot you'd rather live with than a layup or a corner 3. Fine. They played it well. Fourth quarter. Memphis comes out with a little wrinkle to it. All right, we think LeBron doesn't play any defense. This time they have Bradley, instead of coming out to the weak side like he's been doing all game, goes back to the strong side corner. All right, it's a little wrinkle to make them mess up and see if nobody takes the roll man. Bullock's running out on Avery Bradley. So you know what? LeBron's down here. He recognizes, does a great job getting outside the charge circle, makes Valanciunas take a tough contested floater. Good rebound by McGee. Again, we think LeBron doesn't play any defense, doesn't have any recognition. Come on. We know what we're watching. All right, late game, they run it again. This time we're kind of in a show. All right, so like I talked about, low man. Low man's right here. Got to come over and take the roll away. This is the one Bullock gave up earlier in the game. LeBron, outside the circle, meets him early, bodies him. Tough shot, big time rebound. It's fair to question again, though. I mean, this is the Lakers' scheme. They let side pick and rolls, handoffs, whatever. They let them get middle. And then the low man has to come over, which Kuzma does a good job of here. Credit where credit's due. So again, you know what? Another thing I'll say too, it's not all on coaches, that's for sure. And I've been the strongest defender. Jim Boylan, Jason Kidd, all these guys on Twitter. If you have a scheme, there's no magical scheme. Any scheme can work if you execute it hard and the right way. If you play hard, you're in the right spots, you could draw up any scheme you want. It'll work if you commit to it, you have the technique right, and you do it well. All right? If you don't do it well, though, you let it get middle, and JaVale is flat-footed and just a poor defender, whatever that stance is, and let the ball get by you. Bullock doesn't stop the ball at the nail like he's supposed to. And JaVale goes for every single ridiculous block like that he has no chance at, which then leaves Valanciunas by himself to clean it up, then you're going to be in trouble. But again, it can be done. You have the right guys, you execute it the right way, you get out and aggressive, and then the guy who's the low man, like Bullock was in that first clip, rotates over. Remember, this is that game we saw nothing after except, oh my God, LeBron doesn't play any defense. How many clips now have we seen where he recognized as the low man, sprinted to his spot, got up and physical, knocked the ball away? You think he doesn't know what he's doing? Another thing we talk about, like I said, with coaching, adjustments. All right? I know to some extent, okay, matchups, maybe a player can say take a certain guy in a possession, but to start a game, that's a coach deciding who's guarding who. The Lakers started this game with Kyle Kuzma guarding Aiden, okay? Maybe again, they were saving LeBron for him late in the game. Aiden scored almost 20 points in the first half. He was abusing Kyle Kuzma in the post. Look how many times they let this happen instead of just doing the logical thing and having LeBron guard him. Kyle Kuzma is a much better matchup for Dragon Bender. Here we've got Kuzma again guarding a roll man. So he's doing dumb things like this. Instead of continuing to back up like LeBron knows to do in his 2-for-2, Kuzma jumps, which opens up that layup for Aiden. Once again, Smart big men in pick and rolls. They keep backing up. They don't jump for no reason, which makes the defense have to pull in and leads to threes. Just over-aggressive defense in general. The same play they kept running over and over. Turnaround, either shoulder. Was too small. I don't know why it took so long for him to get him off him. But again, here we go. Fourth quarter. LeBron's finally guarding him. Notice they're not running post-ups for Aiden. LeBron's not letting him get deep position. LeBron's coming over on drives and affecting them at the rim. LeBron's backing up in his pick and roll coverage. Not getting up too high and jumping. Staying between his man and the basket. Getting up and physical and pressuring him. Switching with contact. Getting into the ball. Staying low. Come on. You think this guy doesn't play defense? Part 3. Click through. Watch the rest.